my uncle told me this story about this Model T and how it became my grandfather's first car. And I found the story so interesting, I told Brad, I said, you know, we need to go find that guy's name, and we need to see if we can find that car. So, well, it's another beautiful day in Arizona. Got Brad here. Got our friend Joey down here. And we're up in a pretty peculiar spot in northern Arizona. And I decided to start filming right here because this is a very significant spot to this story. But this story started probably 3 years ago when my Uncle Isaac told me that my grandfather got his first car, which was a Model T, at Lee's Ferry. And me and Brad have done research. Brad bought a book. We've been studying. We've been questioning people. We've been to Lee's Ferry now, what, 3 times?
Yeah.
3 times to Lee's Ferry, looking for evidence. We're at the very spot where the accident happened on October 28th, 1925. A gentleman by the name of Waddy T. Legion. Is it Waddy or Waddy?
Waddy Legion.
Waddy Legion. Brad calls him Waddy Legion. Waddy T. Legion. That's how one of my cousins described it to me. Anyway, my Uncle Isaac's been kind of telling me this story and kind of pointing me in the right direction. He used to come over here a lot with the Boy Scouts, and they did trail maintenance over here and stuff, so we kind of figured out where the trail was, and we came over here to check it out. And we thought we'd bring you guys along on this adventure of trying to find my grandfather's lost Model T.
Hello, Merlin. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, just the warm sun, mostly.
Yeah, well, it's a lot warmer down here, just so you know.
Yeah, well, it's plenty warm here for me, but oh well, it's better than ice cold, I guess.
That's true.
So what's going on with you?
Well, so I made another visit to Lee's Ferry and did a bunch of looking around, and I found the grave for that guy that wrecked the Model T, and I've been doing a bunch of research on that, and I don't know, I've learned a bunch of things about Lee's Ferry that I didn't know, which is good. But I did find Model T parts there at the ranch.
Could be, oh yeah.
Yeah, I found a drive shaft that's bent right in the middle. And
They used to use those drive shafts for crowbars and a lot of things.
Yeah, and then I found a rear axle. I found a rear axle and a rear fender. And then the tin oil pan part, not the dipper tray, but the actual bottom of the engine.
Yeah.
There's one of those laying there in the dirt.
Oh, okay.
So I had some questions about the road that come in from the east side.
Southeast side.
Exactly.
Lee's backbones were this.
Okay. And from your understanding, that's where that wreck took place, correct?
Oh yeah, I know the exact spot it was. But anyhow, I had my scout troop down there, and we restored the old trail one year. Spent a couple of days there working on it. And
okay.
Things out. And cleared it from where it starts getting. You could drive right up to where it started getting off, but it was bad you couldn't drive clear on up. The place had sloughed off and boulders had rolled in, that kind of stuff. But we cleared it. Made a good hike trail out of it to clear over to where the ferry was.
The Model T, was it brand new when it came across there, or was it?
It was close to being new, yes.
Okay.
Newest car my dad ever had.
Okay.
That's what he did, is he started right down in the little dip and up the other side. Don't know what powered out or just what happened. Probably pushed the wrong pedal, maybe, who knows. But anyhow, he got just about the top and it started going backwards and went off, and then found it wasn't an awful long ways to the bottom, but problem that happened was he went off the edge of the road, and the road was just barely wide enough for the car anyhow.
Okay.
And it went off in the bottom of that little gully, and it just folded the car in two, the frame.
Okay.
And so my dad had to take the horses over and pulled it all out with the horse team horses. And anyhow, but he said everything on it was pretty much just hardly had any miles on it at all.
Okay, we are on our way to East Ferry. We got Joe here and Brad. We're here in it's cold wherever we're at. It's Williams, and we got this going on. Look at this. Straight to jail. That's where you go. Straight to jail. Okay, you know you're on the reservation when you see something like this. Anyway, we're in Cameron, headed East Ferry. This is Joey. He's going to be our tour guide for the day.
He speaks Yautahe.
He doesn't speak Yautahe.
Toss me your lanyard.
Has it got an engine kill?
Yeah.
Oh. So we're just trying to get to the other side of this river. 100 years ago, there used to be a ferry across here. So, yeah, it's good stuff. We'll take you along for this adventure. Hey, Brad, where are we going?
We're going right there.
We're just going to the other side.
It took a lot of work to get right there.
Joey's wore out. He just about ripped the rope out of his little motor.
Yeah. Think we had good? Last day and a half.
Yeah, on the barrel. They always run better in the barrel, Joe. Oh, no. Now we're in the current. Brad predicted this. The good thing is it's calm here. I mean, the rapids start down there, Brad.
That's the way we're floating right now.
Well, if Joey turns out the right way, we're almost to the beach.
Come on, girls, don't flood it.
Well, here.
Good thing I got waders on.
So we're on the other side now. Miraculously, we just came from over there. You're good. So yeah, we just had to come across without going down the rapids. Okay. We've abandoned the boat here. We better go. Joey's taking off. We're gonna head up yonder, up on that hill. We're up on top of Lee's Backbone, off of East Ferry here. We've come across this. Never mind the horse poop. That right there is a skid mark from a wagon. For sure, they skidded down through here. So we're on one of the right paths.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, we got some writing?
Can't really pick it out, but it's
Oh, we sure do right here. So right here, check this out.
Oh, yeah. Says December 4th, 1878. This rock, Centennial Passing Wagons of First Mesa Company, and under the command of Hiram Smith Phelps. It could have came from who knows where.
I know it's been there a long time, that's for sure. What do you think it is?
I don't know,
Metal.
but I'm pretty sure I could use it on parts of my Model T.
How you think it's Model T parts, huh?
No, I don't know.
Well, we found this in the trail. Trail comes up the bottom of this canyon, goes down around the corner. So we're on the trail again. There's a little bit of a rock stack deal here where they tried to prevent it from.
Yeah, we're literally maybe 25% of the way to the.
Yeah. So we're almost to the cut.
We get the road, Merlin. I'm just gonna sit out.
So we're guessing that they navigated by these little piles of rocks. We've seen several. We've just kind of been following them, but there's a pile there. There's a pile down there on a point, and it just winds through here. It is rugged country for sure. A bunch of petrified wood up here. I mean, it is just everywhere here. It's cool, colorful.
Yeah, looks like a log splinter.
Yeah, right off the top of that little hill there. Yeah. Look at this view up here. Wow. Oh yeah, you can see the river from here. You see the river.
So unreal.
So in 1925, October 28th, which is a ironic date, you'll hear more about that later, 100 years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Wadey T. Lejeune, and he was coming up this road here. And believe it or not, this is the road. It's all eroded and washed out over 100 years, but it circled and turned, and it went right up there where Brad is. Brad is sitting on the point and along the top. And as he was coming up here in that old Model T, best we can tell, it was probably about a 1917 through 22, somewhere in there. So it would have had a low gas tank. It would have been an early car. And it had some kind of camper built on the back, as people have described. But the Model T powered out right here somewhere. And I don't know, Brad, he says everything happens in reverse. So it rolled back down here somewhere and rolled off into this ravine over here. And I guess it buckled the car and pinned him inside and killed him. And that day there was a senior member from the Navajo Nation that was riding his horse through with a couple of scouts. And they discovered Wadey already deceased in his car, and there wasn't nothing they could do. So they rode on to Cameron, and they reported it to authorities in Flagstaff. Well, my grandfather got news of it over at the Ferry, and he came over and recovered the body and took it back to the Ferry. He took the dead body back to the Ferry. He was 35 years old at the time, and it was one of the major things that happened in his life. It was something he remembered till the day he died. He was tearing down my great-grandpa's two-story house. They were making a single story out of it, so they had a bunch of pine wood there. So they made the Wadey a coffin, Mr. Lejeune a coffin, and the medical examiner from Flagstaff and the marshal, U.S. Marshal, made it up to Lee's Ferry, and they filled out a death certificate, and my grandfather officiated a funeral service and buried him at the Lonely Dell Ranch. But we are at the very site where the accident took place, and it ended up right off in this ravine, I'm pretty sure.
This would have been a tough ride in a Model T.
For sure. Now I'm up on the hill where Brad was sitting.
Still sitting.
Joey's where I was filming, but we're thinking that where all that rock stacked up was the road. It's washed out behind it, kind of. And we're thinking it went off here. That Model T ended up down in here and pinned that old feller in that car. But 100-year-old tragedy right here. October 28th, 1925. Crazy. So we're walking on this riverbed, and it's just, you sink in. It's really soft. Like, this is how those Dr. Scholl's were invented. They're made out of this stuff, whatever this stuff is. This is where that horse was sliding. We got a wild horse up here that's going to be antagonizing us later. But anyway, we're making our way back down the edge here. Wagon road's along here somewhere. Right there. Goes back up on top, and we'll be back over to the Lonely Dell Ranch. My hooves are tired.
Yeah, my belly's fat.
So
but they know that.
So we're sitting here behind this what do they call it? Centennial Rock,
Yes.
where Mr. Hiram passed with his wagon team from where?
The Mesa Company.
The Mesa
The
Company.
First Mesa Company.
First Mesa Company. Anyway, I haven't really told the history of my family's involvement with Lee's Ferry, but my great-grandfather, Warren Marshall Johnson, he was basically sent here by Brigham Young to run the ferry after the Marshalls executed John Lee. And that's a whole story all by itself. There's YouTube videos on it. But anyway, my grandfather and his 2 wives raised 20 children down here over about a 30-year period. Well, my grandpa, he was born here, and his brother Jerry and his other brother Price, and they were kind of close. Well, when everybody left the ferry, my grandfather and his brother Jerry worked down here a lot. And Jerry ended up owning the Lonely Dell Ranch. He sold the ranch to what we know as the National Park Service now today. But anyway, there's a lot of really good history. What's the name of that book? Lee's Ferry. We've got a lot of good information from it. But my uncle told me this story about this Model T and how it became my grandfather's first car. And I found the story so interesting, I told Brad, I said, you know, we need to go find that guy's name, and we need to see if we can find that car. So Brad's like, wow, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, I think we start by visiting the Lonely Dell Ranch and see if we can find some graves from the 20s.
Because we knew he died here, and
Well,
we knew he was buried here.
And we had a rough idea of the year. We didn't know the exact year, but we had a rough idea. So we found the name Wady T. Legion.
Wadi Legion.
Brad calls him Wady Legion. More on that later.
Yeah.
So I come up with a death certificate off the internet, and it said, accidental automobile accident, October 28th, 1925. And I was kind of taken back by the fact that it happened on October 28th, 1925, because that's a pretty big deal in my life, because that's when my daughter was born. So my daughter's birthday is today, October 28th. But it was in 1925, obviously. But October 28th really runs through a lot of history. My great-grandmother, Samantha Nelson Johnson, she was born on October 28th. My great-grandfather was married to my great-grandmother on October 28th. So this October 28th just goes through a lot of different dates with me and my immediate family. But once I came up with this death certificate, I called Brad one night on the phone and I said, Brad, who do you have in your family that does genealogy? And
That's easy. Mom.
I gave Brad the name, and I don't think either of us have ever pronounced the name right.
We don't even know how it's pronounced.
But my cousin did say Wady T. Legion, like French, like.
And it was a country full of immigrants at the time, so it probably was.
So what I did know when I gave Brad the name is he was from Bisbee, Arizona. He was 74 years old. His wife had died 3 years earlier. And for some reason, he left town.
Yeah, and we were trying to find any living relatives of him so that we could try and get some backstory and talk with them, but
So when you gave that to your mother, what did you tell her?
I basically said, hey, we're working on a project. Here's a name, here's a death certificate, and just a little bit about what we knew. And I said, I need you to find out. Basically, I need to find living relatives if we can. And she started coming back with dead relatives. And it's pretty hard to go on any of the ancestor websites to see
anybody live.
living relatives. So,
Yeah, how you're live related.
yeah. Then she texts me back and says, oh, and by the way, you're his fifth cousin removed. And I said, you got to be kidding me. This guy we don't even know I'm related to.
We've just met this guy at his headstone, and we've researched his name, and we've realized that through his death, he gave my grandfather his first car, and he's related to Brad. Of all people in my group, he's related to Brad.
Yeah, I mean, it's fifth cousin removed. It's a little ways, but
hey,
still, it's relation.
Relative.
Yeah, 100%.
So
it was not what we expected.
What we found out through our research is my grandfather had a partner over here, Mr. Moon. I don't know his first name. I don't remember. It's in the book. Anyway, he had a wife, and she went by the nickname Sweeter Moon. And it turns out Sweeter Moon was Wadey Legion's daughter. So he was on his way over here to the ferry to either stay at the ferry, but basically to see his daughter. And he had left Bisbee, Arizona, and I bought a map of Arizona in 1925. There were no roads. This trail is not even on here as a trail. Once they got the body back to the ranch, Sweeter Moon basically made the ultimate decision to give the car to my grandfather if he could get it out of the canyon over here. And he took his team of horses, and the team of horses he was using to pull the ferry with, and he went over and pulled that car out and took it back to the Lonely Dell Ranch and rebuilt it, and that was how he got his first car. He was 35 years old. We figure the car was probably, what, 4 or 5 years old maybe?
Yeah. Probably an older car with the
yeah, they said
with the fuel tank in the back.
Yeah, and it ran out on the hill, and we know what happens when Model Ts start going backwards.
Oh, bad things happen when Model Ts start going backwards.
Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to migrate across the river and go visit the Lonely Dell Ranch and show you around and look for Model T parts and see what we can find. So we'll take you along. So we're going to hijack this little boat and take it back there across this here river. Ooh, if I don't fall down first, Colorado River. Stepping on tule weeds and fall down face first in the mud. But
on the truck in the mud. Yeah. That'd be a long ride home.
Stink mud.
With your going swimming before that happens.
Stink mud.
Yeah.
This is rotten.
You're gonna go in the river and ride home in your underwear.
Listen to Brad. He said.
Oh my goodness, does that feel good to take off?
Dude, I bet.
I feel like it's packed full of, I don't know, petrified trees or something like that. It's heavy.
Yeah. What a beautiful area,
like
though.
Somebody filled up my bag full of stones.
Taking a boat ride on Lee's Ferry. Oh, what's that? What's that, Joe?
There's just a kind of a rock bar right up next to that boat ramp.
Watch that rock bar. I don't see it.
Yeah, there's no rock bar, Joe. Keep going.
Yeah, just don't kill the thing. Well, never mind.
That's what you didn't want to do.
I know. Something happened because I'm in gear and we're not moving.
We're almost there. Watch the shore. Hi-ho, hi-ho. Whoa.
My transport vans.
Captain,
You good, Brad? You
Captain Joe and Deckhand Brad. We have arrived.
Hey.
All we had to do is get across the
Should we
river.
hitch a ride downriver?
No.
With these guys?
We're going up
hike.
to
We're getting our
the
getting our
Lonely
walk.
Dell Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Brad huffing and puffing. Or at least Ferry. Wonder if there's any fruit on any of them trees. So they returned to the ranch in 1929. I don't know which one of these would be my grandfather.
I'll tell you. Let's see.
So this is second wife, this is first wife.
That's got to be him.
That's
That'd be your great grandfather. That'd be Warren.
great grandfather, Warren Marshall.
So one of these little rugrats. is your
And
grandpa.
he returned. So my grandfather had a look too. It's hard to tell from that picture. It's kind of a blurry picture.
Well, that one looks like he's got sad face. That ain't him. We need the one with attitude.
That's my grandfather.
There he is. He's picking his nose, pissed off right there.
That's it. So anyway, Samantha Nelson was my great grandmother, and this was her house. Still standing, still sealed with mud. It is kind of open. We'll just help ourselves. Grandma, you got any cookies? There's a sewing machine in there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool history.
It's super cool history.
So one of the next cabins that's left on the property, Jerry Johnson, one of my grandfather's brothers, so great uncle, he built this in 1925 and it's still standing. So these are some of the only two buildings
The window in the back.
that are still at the Lonely Dell Ranch at Lee's Ferry, where my great grandfather took over from Lee to run the ferry for about 25 years. This is rough living. Especially Uncle Jerry'd have an old doe hanging in here. I don't know where he would have got it around here, any deer or whatever, but pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff down here at the Lonely Dell Ranch. Little thing, a root cellar built in 1878, which I know my great grandfather was running this place.
Take a look at that log. in
So
there.
I'm pretty sure his handiwork built this little fine. Oh yeah, look at that. It's like, that's what we can get. He probably drug that all the way from the top of the Kaibab.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, I've had shelves in here.
Yeah.
Keep your things. You know how hot it gets here in the summertime?
Yeah. I mean, this kept all your food.
Probably pack
Cool.
a little ice in there. Cut some ice out of the lake at Jacob Lake and pack it down here, put it on the floor in sawdust. I have a history biography or whatever on my great grandfather. He hand dug this ditch, which brings water from the Pioneer, which is over here in this canyon. And that's what watered the orchard and the garden. This ditch that's lined with these rocks right here, which now it looks like they have pipe. They probably have a buried pipe here somewhere, and they use something very similar. But back in the 1800s, that's how you did it. You got a shovel and you dug it. James Jackson. Look at that.
Yeah. Boy, look at, I mean, just this whole
1931.
property.
Yeah, what a deal.
Pretty established.
This little cabin here's pretty cool. Got a bunch of old relics down here. Check some of this stuff out. Carving old stove. This old cabin is neat. Yeah, so that's the main cemetery, and then I think there's like some other people buried over here somewhere. Model T parts. Model T parts.
Yeah, there's an axle up there.
So, yeah. Dang, I wonder if his Model T is here.
This could be it.
Dude. Yeah, maybe maybe it died right here. Yeah, this old truck is cool. Cool. 37 Chevy. Yeah, there's a Model T fender. Yeah. Any other Model T parts? See a motor. There's a hit and miss. Huh. Yeah, definitely. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, we're here at the Gap. The Gap. I've been passing by this ever since I was a little kid. But anyway, we're right here at this authentic Navajo little portable restaurant.
Oh, they take cards.
And we're getting fry bread. Where's your shoes, Brad?
They're drying out. Where's yours?
No shoes. Joe, you got your boots on.
Boots, I'm still good.
Anyway, we're going to get some Navajo fry bread. And if you haven't had Navajo fry bread, you haven't lived. But, like, look at all this hot sauce and stuff ready to go. Anyway, we'll share it with you here in a minute. Fry bread, look how big this thing is. Anyway, they got chocolate. They got honey. I'm going to put a little bit of honey on here. Just like that. And then they got this powdered sugar. Like that right there. I don't care who you are. That is the way you eat them. What do you got going there?
A lot of beans.
Oh, look at that bean. Oh, that's the way my grandma used to make them. You got the same thing without the sour cream.
Without sour cream, yeah.
Oh, what is that sauce?
Oh, it's not. It's flavorful though. I had to do a little pinky. Make sure.
A pinky?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is dinner at the Gap.